buff is nothing much Zorn can have done. And ever since Zorn got the first buff, he got the first kill, second buff comes in, they immediately contest Zorn for that regards, and it was really hard for them to fight here. But let's talk about this early engagement. This is something that really worried me a little bit here coming from Fan, because just because how Zorn was prioritizing blue buff, and he was not in this fight, Ozoroveki tried to go in for the contestment, and you can see that based on the stats as well, Arts does have the level 2, he can join the fight, but Dominus and Ozoroveki was split out. They were separated with 4 members from side of SMG, and Zorn is not even in the vicinity to actually contest this, which made it super hard for them to actually lose the lead, because the whole point of having the Fanny is to just output damage and also just snowball your way through into the fights. But because of this small skirmish, which they lost, they gave the additional EXP into the side of the SMG, which rendered the power spike for Fanny kind of meaningless in these regards.
The thing is this, right? Like, you see the rest of the people here, like what our dear friend, all this fighting as well, coming from our amazing analysis from the conference side or the BM side, what he was trying to say is, especially says, they really know where the turtle's going to be spawning. That means the turtle's going to be spawning on the bottom side, so that it's going to be dictated as the EXP lane and the cash lane, the gold lane is going to be on the top side. What he meant here is not worth it, is because there is lanes, there is minion waves, and the fact that you guys also understand, sharing is not really that caring anymore inside here of MLBB. So the fact that Ozoroki was trying to go for the steal, which he could have possibly tried to get that extra EXP with dominance towards his mid lane, is pretty much not worth it in this case here.
Yeah, on top of that, Zorn was not in the vicinity as well. You can see the creep wave was still in the middle lane as well.
Yes.
Likewise for that fight. But yeah, this is a great read for SMG. Like, they know that they might actually come and contest this, which you can see they are going to contest this, and they were already prepared for this. They could not get the kill on Veki, but Dominus was also another one that they need to worry about here. Kagura is very level dependent in the early stage of the game, doesn't do much, and you know that Kagura doesn't excel in the early stage of the fight. Meanwhile, Jawhead is a completely different story in that regards. You can see Saijin is already set up. No surprises. Level 1, he's going to destroy Dominus right off the bat.
But, and it's totally understandable as well, because Team MSG just totally understands that the fact that we have CC and GigFam doesn't have at all. They possibly have, but it's going to be later on. And in this case, instantly drawing that first one, getting that extra ESP is going to be so great here for Team SMG. Now here, this is why I'm really concerned, right? Zorn got a little bit too greedy there, diving under the tower. Although yes, really fortunate that Long was really lucky to get out of that fight alive. But anyway, coming back to this fight, they lost the blue. Rin was able to steal the blue with his own retribution, and then after that, this fight slowly started scaling in the hands of Team SMG and pretty much losing one man. Although really great play coming from Dominus, was able to shut down one, but the tier 2 tower still had to fall.
Yeah, it was a great idea coming from Zorn to actually make the attempt to actually shut down the Roger, but at the same time, not getting them the kill literally, I would say, cost them the entire momentum coming from early stage of the game. So that costly kill just literally just threw away both the blue and the red buff in towards the favor of Team SMG. It was definitely in SMG's favor. It's like, you know what? I'm hurt. You know, are you gonna kill me? If you're not, I'm gonna try my best to actually win this game. But it seems to me SMG, they took the advantage of that situation. They snowballed their way through. They got the initial lead, and they immediately closed out the game as well. Even with this final stage, we know this is the moment where we know GigFam, this is the timing. They can come back from this. But unfortunately, they have no outer turrets. If they had the outer turrets available in this fight, GigFam would have stood a chance.
It's a little hard to say, because like in this game, I just feel like Team SG just really played things out really well, especially in the drafting too. Like the minute they saw the Fanny out, they instantly pick up the Aura. They're like, alright, we have the Joy, we can really lock him down with the Unstoppable Force and Ejector, and then just need to have a guaranteed one and a mage support. So in this case, I believe Team SG really thought things out in this first game. But of course, you know, like always, every time I talk about during the MPL casting table, I always say, first game, always about testing the water.
Oh yeah.
It's always about what really matters is what happens in the second game and potentially in that third game. So anyway, coming for the itemization, pretty much very standard coming for the both of this team, right?
Yep. At the same time as well, kudos to Team SMG. They managed to capitalize on this, but like you said as well, testing the waters. Game number 2, GigFam, I don't think they want to try out this Fanny strat once again, because it's really tough. It was super risky, because you're putting all your eggs on the baskets on the Fanny to actually snowball the game, which obviously you can see Zorn, he tried, he almost did it, but in the later stage game, Fanny just loses his entire power spike in the later stage game, and it was so hard for Zorn to actually make a play in the later stage of the game. So you have to give credit to SMG. They read that perfectly, and it was a clutch moment coming from Long as well up top with the Roger here just surviving, getting the kill against Fanny with 1 HP, denying both the red and the blue buff. So undeniably, that was a clutch moment for SMG. So props to them.
And the thing is, like, Roger has always been okay. Now, since speaking about the Roger, we can slowly talk about all the lineup competition with this post-game strat. By the way, first things first, Rich Guy is going to be Long Hill, who earned the most from the previous game. The carry is going to be Rin, who did the most amount of damage. Sandbag, the one who tanked the most, is going to be Arts. And the forgotten one is going to be Saya Jin with 9 assists. And once again, there's many times in that situation as well, especially towards the end, we saw Sayajin pulling off combination flicker and the ejector. But at one moment, when he actually caught dominance inside that mid lane, which we saw in the highlights too, he didn't even need to use flicker. So I'm like, at that point, I'm like, all right, this is pretty much set in stone. Geek Fam, they lost their mage support and also nuke potential and disengagement. Now all they had to do is just control the Fanny and the rest of the team. But what happened was that I think Team SG was, I wouldn't say like they dropped the ball.
Oh yeah.
I will say like maybe they were overthinking it because they could have just taken the Lord. They have the retribution, they have the manpower and damage to clear it out before. Like literally, the chances of Zorn stealing the Lord with the retribution is very, very low, especially since Zyme Senpoi and the Joy was still alive there. But that's why I'm just saying. So I guess
they were literally making sure that Zorn doesn't pull some sneaky play, right? They're just keeping him in check all the time as well. And I like how SMG actually drafted that as well, just because like, hey, they needed some sort of mage, but Zyme Senpoi with the final pick on the Aurora definitely caught Zorn off guard. But at the same time here, the MVP is going to be none other than Rin. We saw him the clutch moment here with the prediction, with the falling star moon, doing the highest damage here. And it's undeniable that his Esmeralda was on fire. There was just nothing that Geek Fam could have stopped him. Rin played it to the beat. That seems to me Esmeralda is still a viable option here coming this patch, despite being banned in the previous weeks.
I mean, the reason why he was banned the previous weeks because his shield was there was literally no limits for his shield, which I think it was absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, that's super dumb. By the way, finally, Moonton, they managed to fix the bug, and Esmeralda finally coming back here in week number 5, where it really counted as well. So, beautiful pickup with this Esmeralda, and the thing is, and the best part about it as well, it was really hard for our dear friend Geek Fam with the heal up pick too, because every time he gets a shield, the Esmeralda will always steal it away from him.
Yeah, I like this pickup coming from Rin as well, getting the Pillager's Axe. Remember how we talked about the jungle meta, right?
Yeah.
So the jungle meta was like, hey, you prioritize over here.